Hello, my name is Stephen Peter, and I'm really excited to be here. With me, I have the founder and the lead pastor of Building Capacity Network International, PCNI, Apostle Daniel Azara. Apostle, it's a great privilege to have you.
Thank you so much. It's a great privilege also to be here. Super excited because I know that there's a great level of light and value we're going to receive from this discussion. One that will propel our results and even our lives to another level. I'm excited.
Alright. So I have a couple of questions here that I'll really love you to answer. Alright, so Apostle. Alright, so my first question: what will you define growth as?
But since you said what would I believe the definition can be edited by me. Alright. For me personally, growth will be your continuous increase in size and value. The continuous, consistent increase in size and value, either mentally, physically, or whatever. I believe there's no limitation to the word growth, in the sense that growth can be applicable in almost any niche. So communities can grow, individuals can grow, businesses can grow, crops can grow, animals can grow. So once you are able to cause a particular thing to increase both in size and also in value, I believe you are making it grow. It might not be exponential, it might not be so wide, it might be little by little, but as long as it is increasing in size and value, it's good.
Alright, so with that question, it brings me to, I'm pretty curious, what has been your best proven strategy over the years to grow?
For growth, like I said, you want to make sure that there's a continuous increase in value, continuous increase in size. First of all, for me, if you want to grow, you need to start by having a picture, creating a mental picture. What the mental picture does to you is that it gives you structure to your growth. Yes, it will save you from growing as haphazardly, to save you from growing without structure. If growth is you increasing in size and value, it means that you can increase in size in areas that you don't intend to increase in size. For example, if you want to increase your net worth, the part of you that needs to grow would most likely be your mind. You only want to increase your body if the source of your income is physically inclined. So if you have things to do with hard labor, or maybe you are a model, or bodybuilder rather than meant to say, then growing physically will be an advantage. But if you're someone who your major earning power is your mind, and you are increasing your physical body, but you increase your mind, I think you are at a disadvantage. So when you have a mental picture, you have a picture of what growth means to you. When I say I am growing, who am I looking at? When I say I'm growing, what comes to my mind? If I tell you now, listen to me, make sure every day you are growing. When I say grow, what picture is coming to your mind? So start with a picture, create a picture. Look for someone or a reality that models what you want to come into, right? Once you get that picture, every of your attempts will be limited to that thing. Then number two, I believe from where you are to where you want to become, you should count your costs. There's a particular story in the Bible where Jesus said, no one starts a building without counting its costs. He says, lest you begin the building and then you stop halfway and people mock you. The mistake many people make is that they attempt to start building, but they don't count their costs. What counting of costs will do to you to tell you if you have sufficient materials or if the materials are not enough. I'll use an unlikely story from the Bible. When the Israelites were in captivity to Egypt, Moses will come to tell Pharaoh that God said, let my people go. So Pharaoh will get up and Pharaoh will make a statement. He will say, it's because you guys are less busy, that's why you have the time to conceive the idea of freedom. So this is what we'll do to you. They will take away the straw and the materials you used to build. You outsource the material for yourself and still build the same quarter you used to build. Look at that. So if you build this way, if you're going to have this amount of blocks produced daily, but you don't have the material, then you need to add more time than you used to do. The first section of the time is to look for the material. The second section of the time is to build with the material. Many people, because they have not counted their costs for success or for growth, do not know that the materials they need to grow is not available. It takes time to grow, but it also takes materials to grow. So for many people, they assume they have sufficient materials or resources to grow, and so they are spending time resting that they would have used to outsource materials, because the amount of time you would use will be different from someone who was born into materials or resources for growth. So I believe if you count your cost, I am here, I want to go there. What will it take me to become what I want to become? Then number 3, haven't counted your cost, feed your desires. You want to feed your desires. So it is not enough to know that I need A, B, C to become this. There must be a part of me that invest in that desire so that that desire continues burning. Let me say university, for example. If you're excited, you've gotten to university, you're in 100 level or the first year, and then I'm going to finish with 5.0. It is possible that at your second year, maybe your first semester, your second semester, second year, the 5.0 thing will begin to adjust depending on the results you saw in your 100 level first or second semester. What will make you still want to achieve first class or whatever grade you set for yourself would be that your desire, your passion is not done. This is why many people learn skills and not finished. They will start learning and will not finish, because desires might die through experiences. Challenges are meant to choke out your desire. They were designed in that way, that the man who succeeds is the man who will move from a point of desire to discipline. So if you're not disciplined enough to make sure your desire can survive or stand a test of time, the time will come you will give up. Yes. Why are you taking the course? I'm taking this course because I want to be a certified backend developer. Beautiful. But somewhere along the line, you will lose the zeal to continue if you don't know how to figure it out. So there must be things that figure it out for growth. You will need to see things that keep telling you, I must continue. Hey, I must do this. So, hey, never get to a point where you've seen enough to say, okay, you know what, I'm not going to feel my desires. That you're on a streak reading, and a reading streak does not stop you from seeing what people who are very successfully do. So whatever made you start, it takes the hunger of the starter to finish. So you must come to a point where you continually feed your desires, continually feed your desires, continually feed your desires. And one more thing, I think for growth, every knowledge or skills you acquire that you are not engaging would not encourage you to add more. You will not improve whatever you are not making use of. Because if I read a book and I'm not going to see the results of the book I read, reading 2 more books would be a distraction or a disadvantage or a discouragement. So you begin to read as a punishment rather than read as a reward. And this is why going to school is very hard. Because you're going to take 4 years to read, and it's most likely that until your 300 level before you see what the knowledge you'll be reading is doing. See, so when they say you're going for IT, that's when you now begin to see how what you've been reading is applied. Until then, the student is reading with hope. He's going to have to trust the words of his teacher, and the teacher's words are true. But life is much different, because there are knowledges in life that have instant application. So you must train yourself to be one that learn and do. If you do not learn and apply, you get to a point where you will give up.